We're returning to our Build the Perfect series this evening, and let's talk about the playground now.
This episode of the Christian Principles Podcast is brought to you by the Herzog Foundation. And as always, the thoughts and opinions expressed within this episode are those of your host and not necessarily of the Herzog Foundation. Welcome to the Christian Principles Podcast. I'm Matt George.
I'm Mark Zockoll. Tonight, we continue the Building the Perfect series. We're excited about it. This is a fun series. We are, I don't want to say we're good at it, but we've gotten better at it. That's for sure. We're better than when we started anyway, and we started at the top.
I think we're pretty good at it. I think we're
January was an interesting month for the pod, by the way, just so you know. In January, we saw 30 plus Apple and Spotify followers. We haven't seen that kind of growth in a month time frame in a little bit. So thank you so much, especially to our partner GradeLink, because we got some prime real estate on their their marketing. So if you don't have a student information system, please check out our good friends at GradeLink. But just for now, no. Schools looking to make a change, schools growing and looking for someone who could grow with them, schools looking for just a student information system that will work for them at a reasonable price. Check out GradeLink and do it at cpp.gradelink.com so that they know that the boys here at the Christian Principles Podcast sent you. But with their backing, of course, as always, with our great partner at the Herzog Foundation, with their backing for the interesting reels that we've got going on with Birch branding, and for Matt, your beautiful face. I mean, just that in and of itself.
What can you do?
For each of these things, we are thankful, and we are seeing some growth. And it's interesting when you people listen to podcasts, because you think it would be at times, and then you think wrong, because it's not at those times.
I've given up trying to guess.
Yes. Yeah.
It's just whenever you least expect it, there you are.
Boom. You're going to get a bunch. So we're thankful, and we're on this roller coaster. It's a lot of fun. We're blessed. We've had a good time, but one of the best times we've had, some of the best times we've had, of course, are in this Building the Perfect series. So let's get down to it, man. Let's build the perfect playground. Matt, I know you prepped a lot for this evening. I know you came in with 15 things to talk about. Yeah,
I love playgrounds.
If you think about how much time have you spent on or near a playground with yourself growing up or with your kids now? Like, it's a lot of time, man.
It's a lot of time. It's a lot of time just messing around on them teeter-totters that don't exist anymore.
All of it. Oh my
goodness. I miss the seesaws.
Listen, seesaws definitely one to be missed. But not the controlled seesaws, because there's the seesaws that big springs and you don't gonna do so much on them. We're talking about like just someone's dad had a rounded tube they put over top of another tube and stuck on the ground, and that thing it was barely hanging on to whatever 4x6 he had. Yeah, 4x6x12 or whatever it was.
That was it. That was what I had. My dad made that for us. Mm-hmm. And we'd had the cousins over, and it's like, let's see how much we can get this thing to bend before
shatters. Absolutely shatters. But the other one, and there is one of these in our area, by the way, ungreased. But can you imagine putting some Crisco on the bottom of this thing, but an ungreased spinner? I don't know what you want to call it, a merry-go-round, but it's not a merry-go-round. It's where the kids it has handles, and it's a plate with handles. And you get on, it will go as fast as you can make it go. Yeah. And have the 6-year-old, the 4-year-old, the 2-year-old, the 1-year-old, and they like to go to that park and play on that, but it ends in tears. Absolutely ends in tears.
Which, again, I'm gonna say it. Not a terrible thing.
Nope, it could be a lot worse. Yeah, we need some of that.
You need some of it. Yeah,
we can't have those. Let's be real. We can't have those on our property.
It's got to be perfect.
That's true.
My version of perfect.
Oh man, tell us what things you used to have on your playgrounds, or what you still do. You just haven't told anybody recently. Like, tell us about those things on your playgrounds at some point.
My playground was the quintessential. I mean, it had all the things you can't have anymore. It had the seesaws. which were metal seesaws, by the way.
Yeah.
Metal ones. They even had like the metal handle that you held onto that if you
Mhm.
weren't paying attention, you put your teeth right into it.
Bust your face.
Did that a couple times. We had the metal slides that
Ooh.
just burned the skin
I
right
say
off of you. Like, don't touch it.
skillets.
Uh, but the thing I remember the most about those slides, though, like the best part was not sliding down it. It was the the support beams, the bars
Oh,
that
yeah.
came up on the side you could grab on and
Uh-huh.
kind of climb up and then do
Shimmy
flips
up.
and stuff underneath it. That was the best. Of course, you got the swings that got you way too high, and of course, we jumped off of them.
Yeah,
But we, yeah,
the swing
yeah,
set at my church growing up, it was taller than other swing sets.
yeah.
Like, if you think
Ours
of
was really
a
tall.
swing set maybe being like, I don't know, 10, 11, 12 foot high, this thing was up like 15, 20 foot high with the chains attached. Like, it probably was not meant to be a swing set. Someone just ghetto rigged it into a swing
Yeah,
set and it was nice and they painted it.
rig it up.
But you could go way too high on it. And for those like our brother-in-law who would find themselves being little, um, aerial acrobats and he wanted to hold either side of
Yeah,
the supports and shimmy his way up the top. Like he was high off the ground. He
yeah.
was way high off the ground if he
See,
was holding on to the top beam.
our school had the answer for that because our swings were fiberglass bars, and you would every
Oh.
once in a while forget about that, and you'd go climb, and you're like, "Oh no!" Just like itching the rest of the day.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
we even had a couple of those. I don't know what you call them. There's like an animal, and it's on the spring, and it goes back and forth
Yeah,
whenever
yeah,
you're on
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
You even
Those are
had a
good
couple
too.
of those. You just tried to get the thing all the way to the ground.
It snaps back and
Um,
bops somebody in the
but yeah,
head. Oh my
but
goodness.
mostly, I grew up in Western Pennsylvania. Our playground was the playground was on top of the hill. Okay, which meant the side of the hill was a part of the playground. That
That's true.
ball did not stay on top, and we were
Uh-huh.
running up and down that hill, which is why my calves are as shaped as they are
Well, they're
today.
rocks. They sure are
I've not
rocks.
worked out my legs in probably 30 years, and that's all because of elementary and high school. Just telling you right now.
That's funny. You had your playground on a hill. My playground at my original church had, the school I went to, the church I went to, we had a playground out back, but there was a man-made hill, called it the mountain, and we did plays on it. People would drive up in their car and watch the plays go on, over, like, an AM radio transmitter that would play we would play kickball at the base of that, and the outfield was up on that hill. So we would you'd try to kick the ball over the hill and
Mhm.
oh man, that's some crazy memories. Okay, before we keep going, we've heard from Grade Link already, but let's hear from them again right now.
Not only does GradeLink simplify fee collection for schools, but it also makes payments easier for parents. They can pay all their fees in one place, making the whole process smoother for everyone. Check out cpp.gradelink.com to see how it can benefit your school community.
And for our second, but our first partner, of course, the Stanley Herzog Foundation, I just want to point you over their Facebook page. Make sure that you check out what Herzog has going on. Yes, at herzogfoundation.com, but also on their Instagram, on their LinkedIn, on their YouTube, on their Facebook, on their Twitter. They are wherever you are. And they are going to be huge school choice advocates. Of course, they're going to be. And we've talked about this, and we're going to keep talking about school choice coming up more and more in the United States of America, in our present culture, in the time that we're living in. So the Herzog Foundation wants to reach out to people who aren't currently looking at options and who but may come to the point where they say, hey, I think I want an option. And especially in Missouri, but of course the rest of the U.S. as well. They're going to put on a 5-step path to help you explore the best fit for your kid when it comes to what school best fits your family. Know the options in your state. That's the first one. Know what it is that's going to happen in your state. Visit schools. Go out and check a bunch of schools. And for those of you in the Southeast, especially, there's a lot of Christian schools for you to pick from, depending on where you are, but more than likely there's a few around you. Check them out. Talk with other parents. Of course, get the feel for what your circle is doing, what your church friends and family are doing. Investigate scholarships and financial aid. Pray and discuss as a family. We're speaking to educators. We're speaking to those who are already invested in Christian school. But let's not forget those things. Let's advertise with those sorts of thoughts in mind. And there might be people out there who, again, the majority of Christians in the US do not send their kids to Christian schools. So there's a bunch out there that probably are looking for more critical alignment. And the Herzog Foundation would be a great place to start that conversation, or to remind you of where to start that conversation, and to help you have a better conversation as we go. All right, Matt, it's time to get back to the playground. Bottom up. And we're starting with pre-K, okay? You got a bunch of pre-K kids. What are you concerned with in your perfect playground?
I think if we're starting with pre-K, the perfect playground is fenced in. I think we just got to start there.
Mm.
It's fenced in for many, many obvious reasons. I mean, depending on location of your playground, location of where on your campus or where the building, or I think regardless, you got kids, running, playing with balls. And the last thing you want or need is your preschool teacher running half a mile chasing down a preschooler. So fenced in, I think, is the way to go when it comes to those playgrounds.
Listen, if I was going to add something to this playground, and probably most of the playgrounds we're going to talk about this evening from pre-K on our way up, I'm going to say I want that bungee floor. I want that
Yeah.
real cool bouncy floor where the kids can just like headbang on it and nothing's going to happen because it's made out of recycled rubber or whatever it happens to be.
Yeah.
That stuff, first of all, it feels good to walk on. Like if you haven't gone to a municipality playground recently, or a school around you that has it, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go find what I'm talking about. It's pretty incredible and it is very nice. So you should check that out. So between your fence and my floor, I think we have a good start already. Because honestly, if that's all they had, I'd let them go outside by themselves.
just run around. Just run around on that. Jump, bang your head on the ground. You're gonna have a great time.
It really is though. Like, if you know what I'm talking about, like it's actually fun to jump on, like to bounce and to walk around that stuff. So it's it's raised, it's domed, so the rain isn't going to stay on. It's going to go off the sides. It's usually going to be it's not the mulch that's going to come back inside with them. It's not the mulch that's going to stay in their clothes that their mom just got them. It's going to be nice. And it's not. I'm not talking about like just the chewed up tire pieces, which that's not bad. Like that's a start too. I'm talking about the domed pad. It's not poured, but it's poured. It's pieces, like whatever it is that comes in and either locks together. It's pieces that it's actually bouncy. There's give to it. You check it out. You'll love it if you haven't seen it. I should get the actual name for it up here, but they'll copyright somebody. I shouldn't do that.
I think there's all kinds of versions of it. But if I were to go a level up from there, as we even just sticking with the ground, we're not even talking about equipment. We're not even getting to equipment yet, because this is the other thing that I don't see in a lot of playgrounds. But I did see in one at a free playground up in Minnesota when I was out there with my family, and my jaw just hit the ground when I saw it. But I want to, especially for those of us who live in an area where everything is absolutely flat, let's get some mounds going. I mean, they don't have to be giant hills, but just little tiny mounds where kids can get the experience of going up and down hills, and you cover it with that material so that when they are falling down the hill or whatever, however big I mean, the one I went to in Minnesota was actually a hill. Like they built a giant thing that they had a slide coming off of. I was like, this is awesome. But yeah, because one of the other things for me growing up, it wasn't a part of our playground, but even I would want to incorporate this if I could safely. One of the things that we had in Western PA, you had coal mining and strip mining. For us around our school is limestone. And what ends up happening when they've gone through an area is they end up with just these rolling mounds through the woods, because woods grow up around it. And we had a section of woods that we would go to in elementary, and you would run and you would get up to speeds as you're coming down and up the over the next hill that you naturally just start flying over these things.
Yeah.
And we would play tag and whatever else, capture the flag. And that was just the best of time. And you're not using equipment. The kids are just running.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I don't know if when things are just flat, you're just not encouraged. Like, race you to the top of the hill. Like our kids growing up here don't understand that where it's like that was our constant last one on the top is a rotten egg. You don't ever get to say that when it's like,
Yeah.
hey, I'll race you over there. Like, so what? This is the only thing we can do.
Oh,
But yeah,
man.
I would do everything I could to make sure that my playground area is not completely flat.
Okay.
Give me some up and down. Let's go.
All right. All right. Okay. I'm there. I'm more understanding how you became who you are than I ever did before. And that's fine. No, I appreciate the idea that we're staying on the playground. And I don't want to go off on the playground because if I went off on the playground right now, I would talk about open spaces and blah blah blah. So let's staying on the playground. I do like your idea though of getting something with elevation into it. That's
Yeah,
exciting.
elevation. Gotta
And
elevate.
the ways those things are available absolutely include the cargo nets that are built in a triangle that are on a saucer that spin as they climb. You get to the top, you can sit on the top. There's just cargo nets now that are again over that bouncing material that might not be quite pre-K, but a cargo net that's the same size. Those are anything that gives them that full body movement. It's not
Yeah.
just get on and sit or climb up and stand on, but it's that full body, get everything moving. That's hugely instructive for them anyway. And I like those ideas. We're 16 minutes into this. We got to keep going. And I hate that already, but we've talked about pre-K to some extent. Let's move along to the elementary. Matt, what would change about this for your elementary? And perhaps not much. Perhaps you've already said somewhat of what you
Yep.
wanted to say, but is there anything else you're going to add for the elementary?
Yeah, I would just say, as we're working our way up, I'm just scaling everything larger in my mind.
Mhm.
Like it's not really changing, it's just getting larger and maybe more. In fact, preschool, you might throw extra toys into that playground area where, elementary, they're not going to have the toys. So you may go more equipment on the elementary side of things. Um, but yeah, you were getting into the cargo nets, the kind of ropes course typey things,
Mhm.
or rock walls. I think of just climbing for me for elementary. I want climbing to be incorporated. So we were talking about kind of running, elevating, but that's the thing. Playgrounds are more of an exciting thing for elementary. I mean, I think swings is another just kind of essential. It's there.
Mhm.
But I wouldn't make it the highlight of my playground area. It would be kind of, there are the swings over there. But I would want climbing to be a big part of that equipment.
That's a good way of saying this. We're building the perfect one, but we're trying to do it. We can do it with as much money as possible, or do it with okay, what can we relatively have? If you were going to spend more space, maybe that's how we should say it. If I had limited space, I'm spending more money on that major climbing structure or
Yeah.
structures than I am on the swings.
Right.
But swings are great fillers. Well, if
Yeah.
I think about here's a good way of thinking about this one for elementary. Maybe in pre-K, I like the idea of having that one giant structure, and I can tell them all, "Hey, you're on the mountain, whatever you're going to call it. You're on that thing, and you're not. I don't want you anywhere else." Assuming it's not fenced in or whatnot. But if you had the opportunity for think about fourth graders, are you doing a bunch of smaller structures spread out, or one larger age appropriate structure with multiple levels on it that takes up a good amount of that space? Which one are you going for?
I mean, hey, if we're going build the perfect,
Yeah.
this thing, in my mind, the most amazing playground setup is a giant pirate ship.
Okay.
Where, you've got the whole deck that just spreads all the way out. You got your poop deck down there with your
Mhm.
the wheel you can spin. But I mean, really bring it out to like almost scale. And then the
Yeah.
climbing are the ropes up to the masts and
Oh, I love
whatnot.
that.
And you got your
Yeah.
crow's nest up there. So I would try to incorporate it all together, but not
Yeah.
so much in a central location. I would spread it out as much as I possibly could. So they
Yeah.
definitely have to run from one area of the playground to the other area, and you could compartmentalize the playground area. So if you wanted to limit it them to, okay, you can only be at this part of it. And
Mhm.
then, even to get some kind of, you could go below decks and there'd be some kind of,
Exactly, yeah.
housed area where they're inside and
Mhm.
whatever. Let their imaginations run wild. And that's the thing with playgrounds. It's one thing to expend energy, but it needs to be a springboard for imagination as well.
Mm. And I think about that, you could just have, even if you don't have the one giant piece that ties the one giant piece that it is, so it's tied together just because it's this one giant piece that costs you $50,000, you could go find yourself
Yeah.
a wheel. You could go find yourself a cargo net, a cargo net, a cargo net, a second level, which
Yeah.
would be your larger structure, and then, like, you just go about calling it
The ship.
the pirate ship. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
gonna go
Yeah.
out to the ship today. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Well, I'm
I dig
I'm
that.
telling you, I think about playgrounds a lot. I
You
really
thought
do.
about this more than I have. I give you that one, more than I have. That's I like that. I like that a lot. Something we haven't said, but as we move forward into the upper school, cameras. This playground needs a lot of cameras because we spend a lot of camera effort on our inner workings of the building, but the playground is going to be where accidents and
Yeah.
feelings and everything gets hurt. We have accidents, we get feelings have get hurt, we get relationships are both born and broken on these playgrounds, of
Right.
course. The memories made there carry over to anything past the teacher's ever said to them. They're going to remember what happened on that playground. So I'm going to get a state of the art camera system. I really am. And I want to make sure that every inch of that space is covered. And if I do have a pirate ship that has a door or something that doesn't have like an enclosed space, but a somewhat blocked off space, I'm
Mhm.
putting a camera right in the dead center of that thing. A nice outdoor camera that never
Mhm.
breaks and is always going to be fine. I'm going to make sure that there's some serious camera work around there. I'm also assuming we have proper security around this thing. We can just go ahead and qualify this as being in a highly secured place, as all playgrounds need to be. But
Right.
how about teachers? Like, what would a teacher
Right.
appreciate about a
That
playground?
that's what I was my immediate thought was like a observation deck for
Yes.
teachers. Like, again, when you're
Yes.
sticking with a theme, but some place where it's obvious that this is where you want the teachers to be. My playground, I will say this. Our playground growing up was kind of divided into two sections in a way. It wasn't really, but you had the larger slide, the larger swings, and the seesaws on one side. It was also closer to the road, so you knew the bigger kids were more supposed to be down on that side. And then on the other side, you had the smaller swings, the smaller slide, and the little back and forth
Mhm.
things. But in the middle of it was just a bench. And it was understood that the teacher sits on that bench and, you're sitting on it if you have to do some time or you've
Gotta
been,
do some
asked
time.
to come over and talk to the teacher. But there were times I can remember where we would go over and we just wanted to spend time with our teacher. And they're like, guys, I can't talk to you because I'm responsible for everybody that's up here. So you need to go away, or they would say like, no kids behind the bench, so
Yeah.
you just knew that was the teacher's area. So I would try to think, especially if you're doing an outdoor recess, thinking of a shaded area, to help your teachers out some, but
Like a lifeguard
definitely they
stand
can
with an
see.
umbrella,
Yeah.
right? Like one of those
Yeah. With
canvas
a,
that they hang,
with a,
the
with a
canvas sail.
little CB radio that announces to
Yes.
everybody, get down,
Speakers.
Johnny, get down right now.
Yes, a PA system that
PA
both
system
plays music
just for that.
and offers them that capability. See, my friend, that again,
Hey, I'm telling you.
genius, genius,
I'm
genius.
telling
Bow
you.
down to the genius, man. That is great. I love the idea of having an observation deck as well. In Ocean City, Maryland, there is the OC Skate Bowl, and
Yeah.
they've recently redone it. And one of the things that's really nice about how they redid the skate park is they installed an observation deck that is a whole story above. And so anybody who's doing like camera shots or parents who just want to be out of the fray of what a giant skate park would be, they get to be up there and watch. And it is, I like taking my kids up there and just watching everybody skate and skateboard and all this sort of thing. It's a lot of fun to watch them go around. That again, Smart man over there.
Yeah,
Smart man. That would
every
be
once in a while.
wonderful things. And I think of like observation deck and then 2 points. And then the teachers could rotate again, like lifeguards,
Yeah,
just like
yeah.
lifeguards, man. And
Station A, Station B.
that
Yeah.
makes me want to talk about like some kind of water feature, but at least like a water fountain out there that
Yeah.
is immediately available. That would be really nice. Um,
A bottle filling station at least,
something,
nowadays
yeah.
that's what you got, those filling
Yeah.
stations.
I
Yeah.
like the idea of having cubbies because students often bring things outside that they want to leave. So cubbies that are nice and off to the side and on the fence, perhaps easily. They're not going to be anything special because they're going to be outside, but they're going to be there for the kids. A nice ball rack,
Yeah.
whatever your ball system is going to be, it's available there. Even though it is just the playground, it's available there as an accessory. This is good stuff, bruh.
Bah.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
way to go, bro. That's good stuff. Hey, we should wrap this up. Is there
Yeah.
anything else you want to add to this playground?
I guess if just to talk about the older ones, because this is the other thing that really kind of frustrates me about some playgrounds is you'll have those signs that say for ages 12 and under, and you're like, man, my 16-year-old self wanted to go and mess around on this stuff. So I would try to create this all in a way that was like, you know what, a 40-year-old man could be out there playing on this stuff. Because not only that, but you also got parents, wanting to do stuff with their kids. So I would try to create it more in the sense that it can deal with larger people for the simple fact that it could be used for your high school as well. Not that our high schools go out and play on playgrounds all that much, or you don't want them destroying the playground. But that's where, when you get to the high school level, that's where I'm looking more for a formalized, sporting
Mhm.
area,
Yeah.
recreational area, with basketball courts, maybe in soccer area, those kind of things that would
Yeah.
be incorporated along with
If
this
if you're a
section.
s if you're a school that is starting up, it has space or it has blacktop, but it doesn't really have a lot of, playground things, don't don't be hyper concerned about going and spending a bunch of money on a brand new playground. I mean, to get started, get yourself some balance beams.
Yeah.
Those are a few timbers cut in half and balance beam. Boom, 3 different levels. Get yourself a set of a chin up bar. Chin up bars at different levels. They will consistently be used for something. You could make sure that you have a basketball net somewhere on your blacktop or even on the grass. It'll get played with.
Mhm.
And a school that doesn't have some kind of basketball court. Are you even a school really? Now I get some schools, they don't have the opportunity, but really a basketball court's it's kind of a given. Or
We
that
haven't
that
even
one
talked
the
about
funnel basketball court game that you throw the ball in and it kind of shoots it out to
yeah.
whichever side.
We haven't even talked about the pride and joy of our playground area,
Mhm.
which is the painted 9 square on the
Yes.
parking lot.
Mhm.
Like, my goodness, you can't
Yep.
keep those kids away from that. And the only thing that,
Exactly.
like, I would want to make sure I have a 9 square, but if I've got the hills and stuff, goodbye 9 square. I'm going to tell the kids, you stay away from that 9 square. You go run on those mounds.
Go run on the
Go.
hills. Go run the hills. All right, we need to shut this down. We got to move along. Tonight, our
Oh,
Christian Administrator Spotlight is going out to Mr. Thor Benson. Thor Benson, he is the principal at Southwest Christian High School, and that's on Bavaria Road in Chaska, Minnesota. I've been checking out their website, and wow, 580 students, 14-to-1 student faculty ratio, 81 college credits offered on campus, 95% AP exam rate, 100% retention of full-time faculty. This place is doing great things for God, and by their video, by the images they have on their website, which of course are meant to sell the school, but it really seems like this school is doing some pretty amazing things. So for Mr. Thor Benson, we are thankful, and Matt's going to pray for you tonight, Thor, there at Southwest Christian in Minnesota.
all right, Father, we thank you so much for this amazing school there in Chaska, and thank you for the leadership there, especially thank you for Thor and leading as principal. And I just pray that you would continue to guide and direct and whatever decisions are needing to be made to continue to help that ministry thrive as they finish out their school year this year. I just pray that you would make make decisions easy, that they would understand what you would have them to do, how you would desire that ministry to grow. I pray that you would help Thor, that he would be encouraged personally this week, that you would find opportunities to bring others to him to show some extra support and just to help him through whatever he may be working on. Just pray that you would guide him, allow him to continue to grow in his walk with you as well. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
All right, folks, make sure that you upgrade your playground as soon as possible. I don't know about that, but make sure that you would want to be on your playground. And I tell you, parents, we haven't talked about that, but a playground is a huge sell, especially to our younger parents. It's a huge sell to your community. It's a big deal. So go check yours out. Make sure it's what it's supposed to be. And overall, just thanks for going with us today.
We want to thank you for listening. We're honored that you spend this time with us each week. Our heart is to bring you practical conversations and resources that really serve you as a Christian school leader. One of the best ways you can help us spread the word is by leaving us a review and sharing the podcast with other Christian school principals you're connected with. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Join the conversation and share any posts that resonate with you. Every share makes a difference in helping more leaders find encouragement and practical tools. And remember, the podcast is just one way we help. We also love serving schools through speaking and workshops. Our keynotes and sessions are designed to give you actionable strategies you can take back to your team and implement right away. If you'd like more details, just send us an email at info@christianprinciplespodcast.com. We'd love to connect. Until next time, thanks for joining us on the Christian Principles Podcast.